I'm doing this speech on Elizabeth Blackwell. The speech might seem kind of like a timeline of her autobiography, but I really wanted to take time and stress the important years of which she made changes and took her time to change in her life. I want you to imagine living in the late 1800s when gender roles still existed. Do you think it would be hard for you to live your daily life? Do you think you could easily be successful? I know a lot in the class may answer, it might be an adjustment, but I would be able to be successful in anything that I did put my heart and dedication to. That would be my answer. This is exactly how Elizabeth Blackwell had felt. She seen her father being very hardworking and providing for her family at a young age. So whenever she got older and he became sick, she did take over as being the caregiver for her family. Now that is listed under U.S. National Library of Medicine in 2014. The topic of the speech I'm trying to do is just advise anybody that you can do anything that you put your heart to, regardless of if somebody tells you you can or cannot do it. I'm going to start off here by saying that Elizabeth Blackwell was born in the United Kingdom on February 3rd, 1821. Her date of death was May 31st, 1910. The reason why I'm telling you those two things is because they're going to be very important throughout the timeline of my speech. When Elizabeth Blackwell passed, she was 89 years old. First, I want to explain to you that before going into school for medicine, she was herself a teacher in 1839. During this time, a close friend of hers was suffering from a gynecological disease that she confided in Blackwell with telling her that she was not comfortable with her doctor because he was a male. She felt embarrassed and wasn't sure how to go upon her appointments and being cared for, and that she would feel more comfortable if she would have a female doctor. This rang a bell for Blackwell and encouraged her to go into the educational study of medicine. Elizabeth first attended Geneva Medical College in New York. She ended up graduating first of her class in January 23rd of 1849. This was not an easy time for her during her attendance because she did suffer much discrimination. Um, she was forced by professors to sit separately in the back and often was not included into the lab work for her classes because she was a woman. After graduation, regardless of graduating first of her class and excellent academic record, she was not being offered any job within the United States. She applied to many hospitals and they all denied her for being a woman. The continuous rejection forced her to move to Paris after speaking with a colleague for an attempt to find employment in the medical field. Unfortunately, there she was also rejected. At this time, it was 1851. Blackwell decided that it would be best for her to continue her education as a midwife at a school in Paris. During her practices there, Blackwell was syringing the eye of a newborn baby boy, and unfortunately, when she was trying to clean the infection, infected fluid flew back into her eye, causing her to lose her eye because she also developed the bacterial infection of the eye. Lastly, I do want to inform the class on some final accomplishments that Elizabeth Blackwell overcame after being denied work in many places. In 1857, Dr. Blackwell founded the nonprofit New York Downtown Hospital and the National Health Society. The downtown hospital operates with 170 beds and a variety of outpatient and inpatient services. During the time, Blackwell was the first woman to be placed on the British medical record. Blackwell also taught England's first College of Medicine to help women teach, prevent medicine, and also the promotion of antiseptics, hygiene, and in order to control and reduce infection within women. She felt this was very important, just based, like I said, on the gender role. A lot of women were being denied things that they needed to be, healthy, safe. Um, Also, her and her sister at the start of the Civil War in 1861, Emily and Elizabeth, both helped organize the Women's Central Association of Relief. There, they took the time to train nurses to service in the war. This was important for them just to get education out there for women who may be coming from other areas to help during the war, to make sure that they are being preventative on infection, that they are treating patients correctly, and they are well knowledgeable on what they're trying to do to help people. In the years leading to her death, from 1875 to 1907, Elizabeth Blackwell became a professor of gynecology at the London School of Medicine. Now, I want you to keep that in mind until 1907. Blackwell passed in 1910 at 89 years old, so that means she was still being a professor up until the age of 87. Now, I know it may seem like Blackwell had many hard years of work up until 87 years old. She did, and she did not let that stop her. She took the time, even being told no and rejected, to continue to figure out ways to better herself and to move forward in the career that she knew that she needed to do to help other women. Within the years of her death between 1907 and 1910, she focused on finishing writing her 3 books. She did her own autobiographies to tell her story for future generations of women to come, to know that it's okay to fight for what you believe in, what you know you're able to do, and to make sure that you can spread the word on how to help other women. Now, the reason I chose Elizabeth Blackwell for my speech is in hopes to spread the light to my peers that you can do anything that you work hard on. Do not give up on your dreams, and don't let somebody else tell you, no, you can't do something. Elizabeth Blackwell did not take no for an answer from anybody. She moved to many different areas to try any way that she could to find work to help people that she knew needed taken care of. Now, I hope that after hearing Elizabeth Blackwell's timeline for her biography, it gives you some extra motivation if you are feeling that it's too late in your life to succeed at your dreams. I personally felt that way, being that I'm 27 and trying to now get a college degree instead of when I first got out of high school. I kind of felt unmotivated and like it maybe was too late for me. After doing this speech, it kind of shed some light for my life as well, because she was teaching until 87 years old, trying to make everyone's life better and more understandable for women, and for women to know that it's okay and you can do anything that you dream to do in your life. Lastly, I'm going to leave you with this quote from Elizabeth Blackwell's book. She states, "If society will not admit of women's free development, then society must be remodeled." Now, she made that statement in 1880, and she was 59 years old. What I took that as meaning is, if society wasn't going to be okay with women developing freely within the world, being able to work, being able to go to school, doing whatever they feel like they can do, if they want to be a doctor, if they want to be a rocket scientist, she felt like if society would not be accepting to that, then the society itself needed to be changed. Somebody needed to fight for the rights of women, make sure that women can have the same jobs as men if they would like to. And like I said, until 89 years old, she fought for those rights. I just want to touch here basically on the references lastly before I finish my speech. I did get a lot of my good references from the U.S. National Library of Medicine, and that was in 2014. The Social Welfare History Project of Elizabeth Blackwell, America's First Woman Physician, that was in 2015. And Christy Ottavani, Books/Henry Holt and Company from 2013. They had a lot of great references, research, and backdating on Elizabeth Blackwell herself and how she became from the time of her date of birth until the date of her death.